I'm sad Spags isn't leaving.
Hey,
He just won us the Super Bowl.
continuity,
He
I
won us a
guess,
Super
man.
Bowl.
He
The
helped.
He let up 32 points. Couldn't improvise a stop.
against like the most stacked offense in outside of ours because we have two of the top five players in the NFL. Like
Yeah.
that was probably the best offense in the NFL right there.
We can do better.
I don't mind it for continuity. I'm
Yeah.
happy that we're getting uh, at least some freshish blood, new eyes in the offensive room. Um, I think if the offense takes a step backwards, the enemy is going to have a lot of people to say "I told you so" to.
True.
There's a
I don't
lot
know
of
if it will.
haters
I don't know.
coming within the Chiefs' kingdom from Eric
I,
Bieniemy.
I think Eric Bieniemy did a lot more than anybody gives him credit for. I think he's going to go to Washington and do a fantastic job with whatever
I
their
really want
situation
him to
ends
get
up with.
Lamar too.
Yeah.
Lamar going
Lamar
there,
with
I
those
know
off with those
Shefty.
receivers.
Listen, when Shefty put out that bomb and then it ended up being a prank, all three of us were absolutely devastated. Number one, it gets Lamar out of the
No,
AFC, but
I'm
that
not
is an
devastated.
amazing
I thought that was
that
fucking.
dude. That was
I
going to
was.
be an amazing spot for him.
I
He did a
think
whole
you might
entire
be
bit
using the
on
wrong
part of my
adjective
take.
there.
I was
He did
devastated.
a whole
That was
entire
going to be
bit on
amazing.
that on part of my take. So I listened to that, and I thought you were saying something in the group saying, "Hey, this is like actual news now." I'm like, "Oh, so he was actually telling the truth there. He dropped it finally." No, it
I
was
would
just a
be
complete bit.
1,000% happy that he gets out of the AFC. We
Oh
wouldn't have
yeah,
to face him in the playoffs, even though we never
and that's
really
a
had a problem
that's
with
a
it.
hell of a spot for
The
him. I
Ravens only
mean,
beat us once.
who knows? Maybe Jeffy B ends up getting the team, and he's like, "All right, drop the bag."
Jeffy B's going for Seattle next. That's the next team he's
There are
looking
quite a
at.
few. There are quite a few teams up for sale, surprisingly.
Well, it needs to happen in Washington. Jeff
Needed to
Bezos,
happen in
Lamar
Washington.
Jackson, Eric Bieniemy, Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, that one guy.
Riverboat Ron.
Yeah,
Hell, man, maybe Sam Howell is the guy.
He looked good in the
We
last game
watched.
last year.
Listen, we watched him for what, a game, two games, one game. Played really well. Maybe Sam Howell's the guy. Maybe he is who they thought Mitch Trubisky would be.
I don't know who Sam Howell is.
I don't know why you're talking about Mitch Trubisky in Washington,
Where'd Mitch Trubisky go to school?
North Carolina.
Where'd Sam Howell go to school?
North Carolina, I guess.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Congrats.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to get at there.
Well,
You're losing me.
if Sam Howell is better than Mitch Trubisky, then Sam Howell is who the NFL wanted Mitch Trubisky to be.
No, they would have Mitch Trubisky to be
Great.
highlight
And he's
star.
Garbo. And now Sam Howell's coming in, plays one game,
Yeah,
looks
but you're
pretty
you
damn
can't
good.
compare you
Maybe
can't
he could
compare
be.
these
Who's a
two
better
players.
quarterback, Tim Tebow or Mitch Trubisky?
Trubisky. He didn't switch to play tight end yet.
We'll go win a playoff game.
Watch Tim Tebow throw the ball again. Watch him throw the ball and tell me Mitch is not worse than that.
I'm taking
I
Tebow
need an
over
answer out
Mitch.
of you. Tebow or Mitch Trubisky?
I'm taking Tebow over Mitch.
Okay. And I'm not going to tell you my answer.
Wow.
It's Mitch.
Yeah, I fucking hate Tim Tebow.
All right, to get back a little bit on track of players that may be leaving the Chiefs,
What
looks like
track?
Juan Thornhill and
Juan,
McCole Hardman are going to be leaving.
Carey's gone. Carey's for
too
sure
much
gone.
money.
I mean, they're
Too much money, and
10,
he's
10
he
million
hasn't
a
played
year
enough.
minimum. They're talking 4 years, 40 for expectations. Like, no, see ya. And we've got backups for him. Like we do have guys on the roster for him. Juan is a guy I would like to bring back.
I would like to bring back as well, but I think his asking price is going to be a little too high for us. He's going to try to
Safety.
get a bag, but we're not. He's not
I mean,
worth the
how
full
much of a
bag.
bag is there out there for safeties?
He's trying to get a little bit
From
better
what I've
deal than
seen
what
on,
Justin Reed had last year from
yeah,
us,
from
and
what I've
I
seen
don't
on
think we're going to be
Twitter,
paying him that.
this people are paying a little bit more for talent that might not be there. But I think Juan's a good talent.
I mean, that's fair. The safeties
I
in the
think he has
draft
a
this
little bit
year are
more
not.
leverage than anybody else on the market, considering he just got another ring.
Yeah, I mean, I am more adept to let him leave since we've got Brian, and we can kind of build off of some of these guys we could probably get later in the draft. Uh, it's fine. I don't love the move, but there's also other moves that have to be made because Juan's leaving, but we've got some massive voids to fill on the defensive side. When you look at defensive end and defensive tackle, you've got what, Chris Jones and Colin Saunders on the last year of his deal, and that's it at defensive tackle. At
Something like that,
defensive
yeah.
end, at defensive end, you got George Karlaftis.
Well, I think we already know we're going to attack that in the draft for sure. I think there's actually probably some guys out there that we're going to actually go after and pick up in free agency.
The
But
free agency market for the defense, especially defensive line, is very large this year. I don't mind getting that. Rumors were going around. I did see a couple here and there. Heard it on 610. L'Jarius Sneed getting the boot, maybe a trade. He's got 1 year left on his contract. What do you guys think about that?
I would love to keep him. I think he deserves a good contract from us. But if we're going to trade him, at least get something good out of it.
Do you think that he legitimately gets traded? Like, not because we're all like, if he leaves, okay, we are a little set. That is a setback. But like, do you see the Chiefs trading L'Jarius Sneed after being as instrumental as he has been the last 2 seasons for us?
Absolutely. This is something that great dynasties do is trade players before they have to pay them. And just to go back to the Bengals game in the AFC Championship, he got hurt on the first drive, and the rest of the game was all the rookies. So they know that they can be out there and play, and they can pick up more players in the draft late rounds and everything. So I would not be surprised if they did that.
I think the guy that you have to bring back is Chris Jones.
Gotta pay the man.
Everybody else, and I'm flip flopping here because I previously thought that his value is not going to be higher than it is right now. Let's trade Chris Jones, get a buttload of return for him, and make this draft even better. But I think if we lose everybody else that is up for a contract, Chris Jones is a guy that can change the game by himself. He's Aaron Donald from 2 years ago.
Getting up there in age, though, we can't expect we can't expect him to do what he had done this year at the same volume. I don't think we can continue to still have his usage rate at 80, 90% and still expect him to be able to pull out the numbers that he's been pulling out. The guy is going to be effective when he's on the field, but I don't think we can still continue to we got to worry about the longevity of the guy as well.
I
If
think
we're going to sign him on a longer deal, get him another 3 or 4 years on top of the one that's left over for this upcoming season, we've got to worry a little bit about longevity and making sure he has some help.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing though is we may see his usage rate go down, but we'll see his numbers probably stay around the same if we are going to replenish this defensive line right here. If we get more guys in there that can get after the quarterback and actually do some stuff back there, expect him to keep the big numbers up. He's going to face a lot less double teams, and he's going to get home a lot more than he doesn't.
Yeah, if there's any other big impactful body that they add to that defensive line, somebody who is better than the players that we've had. Carlos Dunlap, Frank Clark, George Karlaftis. If we get somebody that is just the level higher than those guys, like those are, they turned out to be solid starters, I guess, like solid rotational guys, like they deserve playing time in the NFL. But if we just have a tier higher of a caliber player, that's gonna open so many things up for Chris Jones, and he's not gonna see as many double teams. He's gonna get double teamed, but if we have somebody that gets the attention off his ass, the numbers are. I mean, he's only gotten better. He's been a great player for us. Until I start to see an inkling of decline, I'm not going to assume that's going to happen next year. I think Chris Jones is going to stay Chris Jones, at least for a year or two.
Some guys that are on the free agent market, Fletcher Cox, they're saying his market value is 14 a year on average.
I
He's
think
old too, though.
yeah. If not
Mason
him,
Hargrave's 30, and they're saying his average should be 20.
we're definitely going to go out and make a big splash in free agency for one of these guys. We just had Frank Clark on the contracts for. He was going to have a $28 million cap hit this year. I know we just cut him at the same time, but if you're willing to give that money to Frank Clark at some point in time, I would imagine they're going to do it.
That move frees up a lot of money, doesn't it? Isn't that
It frees up
the
a lot
case?
of money.
Yeah.
Frees up a lot of money. I would be more adept to say that the money's not going to be spent on an interior defensive lineman as much as it's going to be on the exterior, especially with the guys who are in the free agent market, like Brandon Graham, Yannick Ngakoue, Jadeveon Clowney, Hakeem Hicks. I think Robert Quinn hits the market again as well. Like there's some guys that are hitting the market. Marcus Davenport. Money is going to be spent at the edge position.
I would have to agree, but I think if there's a big move up in the draft, like I need to do a little bit more research before it's like here, but I would love to have a young fucking edge rusher, guys, like someone that's going to be on a rookie contract. I mean, you drafted that
Some
high, you
people we
still got
can
to
bring
pay
in
him
to
for
have
a
those
bit, but like,
conversations.
I mean, goodness, man, that's at this point, that's the only piece we're missing. If we can make that receiver core work, you get a young edge rusher on the team that's just like a star talent that can get pressure on the quarterback year one. I mean, the franchise looks good for the next few years, right? Pat Mahomes locked up for a while. Travis Kelce's twilight years. You get a young edge rusher that can just 1v1 any tackle that's going to be on our books for a while. That's perfect case scenario.